I want to do a follow-up on what I was saying about prescribing things. Prescribing what people should believe. A prescription. See, every religion has prescriptions. Like recipes, I could say. What should a true believer in God do? How should a person who believes in God act? Well, if I'm a Jehovah's Witness, there are certain things. I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't donate blood, and I don't receive blood transfusion. So far, I've been lucky not to have to take a blood transfusion, but I do donate blood. I have donated blood on a regular basis, and if I need blood for medical purposes, I will accept it. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. But I suppose some people could argue, well, once you're Jehovah's Witness, always, maybe it's like the mafia. Once you're in it, you can never get out of it. Well, if that's the case, fine. Maybe that's even a good thing, because then I'll revolutionize Jehovah's Witness by following my own rules. Because that's the one thing I do. Very few religions have this policy called follow your own rules. Very few religions encourage independent thinking. If somebody comes up with a church that encourages independent and free thinking, I'll follow it. But here's the funny thing. The minute you follow something, then you're not thinking freely and you're not independent. It becomes a contradiction. Independent thinking is different than just being a follower. I have never been a follower of anything. I've always felt uncomfortable with this concept of following. I have been forced into things and had to do things because, circumstances pushed me. But I've never liked this idea of being forced into things. I'm not going to be forced into atheism, and I'm not going to be forced into belief. I'm not going to be forced. What's most important to me is to come to where you are freely. I believe in free choice, freely choosing. Maybe one could even call that natural selection. I like to use that term from the whole the thing about evolution. That's how you personally evolve anyway, by natural selection, because the selection must come naturally. Which is true. I mean, think about it. It sounds like a joke at first, but it's true, because you have to choose things freely. If you go somewhere, for example, it's kind of like the stuff about self-actualization, a point that Maslow had made. Many times in life, we choose things because we're supposed to. We like something because we're supposed to. If you like something because you're supposed to, what that means is because of pressure, not because you really genuinely like it. Like if you go to see a movie, for example, and everybody else loves that movie, they think it's the greatest movie ever. Well, when you see the movie, when you come out of the movie theater, you're supposed to say, oh, that was a great movie. In other words, you're supposed to say what everybody else says. Because if you don't, everybody's going to look at you. They're going to give you that look. Some movies I don't like that other people like. For example, that movie Borat. I couldn't stand that movie. I thought it was stupid. I actually bought that thing on DVD. That's money I'll never have back. And 2 hours of my life I'll never have back. I just don't get why people thought that was such a great movie. But a lot of people loved it. I didn't like that movie Religulous. Not because I'm religious or something. I just thought Bill Maher was just simply making fun of people. To me, which I never like that. When people do that, you sit there and ridicule other people. And it's kind of very mean-spirited. Which, but some people thought that was a great movie. The thing is that I have my opinions. And my thing is, if I got friends in this world, they have to respect my opinion if they're going to be my friends. Not that it's a reward-punishment issue, like I'm going to punish you by cutting you off. It's just that, just think about it yourself. Are you going to be friends with people who just think everything you do is stupid? And they're going to sit there and tell you you're stupid all day long? can disagree with me. Just like I disagree with other people. I disagree with what other people say. But I don't think they're stupid because they hold a particular opinion. It's just we have different opinions. You think one way, I think another. But to run around telling people that they're stupid because they have a different opinion, to me, that's, first of all, that's arrogant. Because it's like suggesting that you have the right opinion and they have the wrong opinion. No, there's no right opinion, it's just different opinions. We see the world differently. My way of seeing the world isn't better than your way of seeing the world. It's just different. You know, I have a worldview that has God in it. I look at things from a God framework. I know that by saying this, that some people are going to not want to have anything to do with me. They automatically will label me as stupid and crazy and that I have invisible friends and this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, all the kind of things that people do to try to put you down or try to make you feel uncomfortable or try to shame you out of your belief. You know, I'm going to feel embarrassed. And if I want to feel comfortable again, I have to give up believing. I have to give up believing that there is such a thing as God. You know, a friend who wants me to give up something that's a part of my life, something that I have chosen freely, then I have to wonder about that friend because I'm going to give up something. And it's going to be a friend who requires that I have to give up something. Or else they're going to continue to torture me. See, I had a friend who was like that once. And I had to cut that person off. My thing is, if you don't like what I do, fine. I mean, that's okay. There are a lot of things I don't like. I have friends. I have a lot of friends. And they do things I don't agree with. They do things I don't even like. But, you know, they respect me enough to just, you know, keep their things there and I keep my things here. And that's the way it is. I just don't like people forcing things on me. Don't force your beliefs, your ideals on me. You know, that's it. Don't force it on me. And I won't force my things on you. You know, sometimes I think the hardest thing in this world is to allow people to just be themselves. To allow people to just be who and what they are. To say, look, it's okay for you to be who you are. It's okay for you to think as you think. That's okay for you. That's not, I don't want to do it. I don't choose it. But, you know, fine, whatever. You know, there are people, for example, who love to gamble a lot. You know, I'll go sometimes and go to a casino every so often, but not very often. But there are people who just love to go every week. Fine, I'm not going to go every week. There are people who like to eat at fancy restaurants every day. I don't. There are people who like to do a lot of things. I like to do a lot of things that other people don't like. I love to travel a lot. Some people just can't stand it. Oh, I wouldn't want to go there because everybody hates us in other countries. Well, I don't think that. But, you know, that's the way I look at things. I think real friendship and good friendships and good relationships are where we can be ourselves and be accepted by the people we're with, even if we're different. That's the mark of a good relationship and good friendships. When you can accept people and they can accept you, even though you're different. And we can learn from each other. That's my thing. That's what I think.